I wish you all Happy New Year 2019. It's our first study circle of the calendar year 2019. It is study circle. Subject is also a very unique subject. It's the name NFRA. It's taken. The CAs will get a little bit disturbance. So today's topic, NFRA provisions and case studies from PCAOB, USA. To handle this subject, we have with us an expert, resourceful person, Mohan R Lavi. I request Bangalore Bank Chairman Shrevan Gurtu to escort the speaker onto the dais and welcome it. Mohan R Lavi, qualified as Chartered Accountant in the year 1989. He has over 25 years of experience in industry across a variety of industries. He has worked in senior positions in finance and manufacturing and software companies. At present, he is a partner with KP Rao and Co Chartered Accountants Bangalore and heads the IndAS and GST practice of the firm. Mohan is the author of the first book on service tax, which was published in 1994. He has authored books on IFRS and IndAS. He is a regular contributor of articles to the Hindu Business Line and Deccan Herald on accounting standards, taxation and GST. Mohan has spoken at various conferences in India and abroad on accounting standard IFRS. As a faculty member with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, with the Management Study Center, Chennai, for their corporate programs on GST. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Mohan R Lavi.
Good evening, everybody. At the outset, let me thank Bangalore branch for accepting my request, because I told someone I want to talk on this topic. It was not that it came from them. So this topic and the title was also chosen by me only. So thanks, Shawan, for that. Ravindra College, I was saying, this is a very a topic which will sort of create some sort of he used the word called fear, I think. Or is it fear, is it worry, is it concern? We really do not know. Because this has been happening, or this was on the cards for the last couple of years, ever since the Act was, Companies Act was passed. It was like the ghost which kept coming. NFRA will come, NFRA will come, NFRA will come. And now finally it is actually been announced, and the rules have also come in. So we're going to talk about a little bit about these things, and more importantly, I think the rules are there, the provision of the Act is there, NFRA is going to be there. I think it's important for us to understand how we would possibly have to, work towards working with NFRA now. I mean, the chances of NFRA going away are impossible because already some sort of developments have happened in NFRA, so the chance of NFRA going away are impossible. But whether it will be an effective body, whether it really impact us, should we really be worried? I think that will be the takeaway from this end of the session. So hopefully we should discuss about a couple of these topics here. The first, of course, was this section 132 of the Companies Act 2013. We should remember that any of these provisions which we are talking about, let it be NFRA, let it be the Companies Act, there is a very popular feeling that the Companies Act 2013 should actually be called as the Satyam and Sahara Act, because it was a reaction to both Satyam and Sahara. Many of the provisions which have come in there appear to have been a sort of a reaction to what happened in both Satyam and Sahara. I'm getting into what happened in Satyam and Sahara because that is now common knowledge and people know about it. The provisions were draconian. In the middle, they just put in this one small sentence in 132 saying that the central government may establish the National Financial Reporting Authority. The moment a word like may is used in that, we feel okay, may means doesn't matter, it really not come at all. It's only may put, so that really doesn't matter. We should also remember that this National Financial Reporting Authority in the previous version was probably called NACAS, not with so much of powers, not with so many powers. They have something called as National Committee on Accounting Standards, which was the sort of the body which was sort of blessing all the accounting standards, which we take all the hard work to write. ICA was writing all the accounting standards and it was going to NACAS. NACAS was sort of just blessing it, saying that okay, these accounting standards are fine. So the provision was there, the rules official notification did not come. We should remember also that in 2013, when the Companies Act was passed, the focus on the profession was probably not as sharp as it is today. When I say sharp, I mean everybody required a sounding board, and now it's obviously going to the sounding board. You're seeing what is happening in ILFS in all these cases. So the focus in 2013 was not as sharp as it is today, which is probably why we have NFRA in the first place now notified in as an official legislation today. But anyway, we've already spoken about this thing here. So two notifications are coming here. In the month of March, the government announced that NFRA will come in. And the ultimate issued a notification in October saying that from October 1st, NFRA is an official body. So, of course, subsequently the rules have come in the month of November, but October 1st, official what you can say, constitution of NFRA as a body was established on October 1st. Now, if you go back to the immediate section 132, what are the duties of NFRA? I'm just going to leave this with all of you. You can probably have a look at it. And they seem to be suggesting that make recommendations to the central government on accounting and policies, and then enforce the compliance with accounting policies, and then they are talking about oversee the quality of the profession. So if you look at the section itself, they are talking about make recommendations on accounting policies, which who's already doing now? We are already doing that now, right? Oversee of the profession, who's doing now? It appeared that they are straight away treading into the territory of ICA. Now, one of the debates has always been going on, which is very intense debate is going on, which is that any regulatory body cannot do self-policing, So there's always been a discussion saying that how can the ICA regulate its own members? There should be somebody outside. You cannot do self-policing, there should be somebody outside. This appeared to be the reason why they kept on saying, no, we want to have one body outside who will come in and check on this thing and all. But if you look at the basic accounting policies, which, as all of you must be aware, we had accounting standards, we've got Ind AS, we've got IFRS, we've got a whole bunch of accounting standards here. The standards, as I mentioned, were written by the ICA, blessed by NACAS, now transferred to NFRA. The process is going to remain the same. We will still write the accounting standards. It will go through a process of due diligence within the members. It will be sent to the NFRA, and probably NFRA may sort of, officially bless the accounting standards, which is fine because we already had NACAS doing this job in the past. But the question of self-policing and overseeing the quality of the profession is something that seriously will be a little bit dangerous. If you look at the self-regulatory policy, the arguments against it are that do doctors get outside regulation? They don't. Do we have a third-party doctors who are doing it? Does the legal department, legal profession, do they have a situation of somebody else policing them? The argument for not having a self-policing mechanism, the other professions are not doing, therefore we should also not do it. But as I said earlier also, the sharpness with which people are looking at our profession seems to have increased, and the only singular reason why NFRA could come in, or NFRA has come in, could possibly be because, and I should not mince any words in saying that here, there seems to be a feeling, however long it is, I'm not going to get into that the institute has failed in its duty to do a little bit of policing of its members. We are not going to get into right or wrong, that's not the discussion for today. So that seemed to be the background why they said, okay, let NFRA come in here. A very interesting thing happened in the US. Whatever you're saying today, I'll be going through a little bit of those provisions there also. We are talking about NFRA as a reaction to IRNFS probably maybe, but In the US, the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board was formed immediately after Enron happened. Immediately after Enron happened, they formed this PCAOB. And PCAOB had exactly the same powers as you are seeing on the screen here. They had exactly the same duties. Accounting standards, auditing standards, also overseeing the work done by members. Now what happened in the US immediately after this was passed was that US GAAP already had a very detailed set of accounting standards, so they really did not have much of work to do on accounting standards. They said, okay, since this is a problem, accounting standards are already established, we don't want to touch that area, we will start checking into other than, we'll go and start checking the audit firms, documentation, quality, all those things. The first 3 years of the PCAOB were only spent in getting firms registered and checking their quality. The first 3 years is spent only in that. And again, as all of you are members, I should not be telling you about this, but still, the moment we think about a word called quality, what do we think of? I mean, all of you, many of you must have probably faced the peer review board and all these things. You may have the best of documentation. You may have the best of documentation. Your audit file may be absolutely spotless, absolutely clean. There can't be any mistake to find out also. I am the peer reviewer. I come to your office and look at your file. What will I say? I have to find at least one defect. That is my job. I will be tasked with finding one defect. A very interesting thing happened in the PCAOB's documentation. I think this was 2006. Again, a very big client, a Big Four auditor, and peer review went there. I mean, the PCAOB people went there and said, "Can you give me audit files and all those things?" So he went to extensively for about 15 days. He went to the entire documentation process file and all those things. Could not find a single mistake because all of you know how the documentation is absolutely spotless it was. So he came out with a comment which said that you have sent a confirmation of balance request on this particular date. I can see the details of the confirmation of balance from the file, but the covering letter is not there. This was the objection raised. I can see the confirmation of balance. Confirmation of balance has been sent. Probably confirmation of balance has been received also, but the covering letter is not there. Mistake in documentation. Please improve your quality, they said. Or can you please find out where this covering letter has gone? So the audit firm was obviously very worried. They said, I don't want a negative comment because please remember all these reports are going in public domain. Even the NFRA reports will be in public domain. So we need to be a bit careful of that. So audit firm did not want any comment on this. So they said, what should we do? Where did this covering letter go? Or did we have a covering letter on in the first place? So they started, asking the audit manager, audit article clerk, whoever it was. There was only Indian chartered accountant there. He said, what is the problem? I don't see what is the problem, he said. He said, see, this is what they commented. Confirmation of balance has been sent, but covering letter is not there. And being an Indian chartered accountant, probably has worked in a lot of firms in India, he said, so what, no problem. We'll do a covering letter today, backdate it, that's all, put it on the file. So he said, okay, fine. The people in the US were surprised. They said, did not such a simple solution can be there at all. So he typed out a little bit of old little letter, made it a little bit brownish because it has to appear old, and went and put it in the file. PCAOB came for the final inspection. They said, did you find the covering letter? Yes, it was actually wrongly went to some other file. Can I see it? Oh, very good. No documentation defect. If this is going to happen to us, you can imagine what is going to be our position, right? Of course, we do not know. I'll come to that a little bit later on. Who are the people who are going to come? Whether they are qualified to even talk about auditing and accounting standards. These are questions which are still not answered. But the first 3 years were spent only on documentation, which is what I expect will probably happen even now with NFRA coming to play. So this was the initial set here. And unfortunately, I should use the word unfortunate, they said that they have to have the power to investigate CO motor and reference made in the central government. I'll come to the rules directly here because, you can see here, discovery and production of books of account, a whole bunch of powers have been given to them. So basically what will happen now is that, if your client is in the class of companies which I will show you in some time. The NFRA has got the power to straight away investigate them. Straight away. They need not, there is no need for any mechanism here. Straight away. There are a certain set of other companies in which we have to inform the NFRA that they are the auditors. So, one quick takeaway is that no company has been spared. Either it is a direct investigation by NFRA, or the auditor will have to register with NFRA, or the company has to inform NFRA that this person is an auditor. The entire set of companies covered by Companies Act 2013, the list of auditors will have to be filed in NFRA 1, either by the company or by NFRA directly by doing a direct investigation. Now, of course, the word called investigation is probably a word which we should not be using in a very loose way. Investigation will obviously come when only something is wrong. Right? Investigation doesn't come on a day in day out basis. Investigation normally only when something is wrong there. So, I am pretty confident that the necessity for the investigation part will not come. But the other part, about the documentation part, I think that is something we need to be a little bit concerned about, because as I said earlier also, the fact that somebody is going to come. So in the US, when this person came, there was a case filed by one auditing firm called as Jim Hill Associates. They went to the court and said that I am an auditor, to a certain extent I am a public servant, the client is confidential to me, his data is confidential to me, how can a third person come and check my files? This came up in this Jim Hill Associates went to the court and said that the matter between me and my client is confidential to me. If something is wrong, you got other mechanisms, other laws to take care of it. Like court cannot directly come and ask for the books of account at all. But they said a third person, who is a PCAOB investigator, cannot come walk into my office, demand for the files, and check the files. This was a case he put in the court. It was a very interesting decision by the court. The court said that had the PCAOB Act not been passed, what you say is perfectly correct. But now that the PCAOB Act has been passed by both the House of Parliament and the US Act, as it happened in both the House of Parliament, the power has been given to this as a separate body. He says only the PCAOB investigators can come, nobody else can come. But that is only a sort of a, what you can say, small solution. But then, of course, they said that he has got the power to come. Confidentiality, they said, in case you want any NDA to be executed, whatever that investigator is seeing, you can ask him not to leak out in the public domain. Whatever it may be. It may be the most confidential document about your client, but the statutory act has been passed. Therefore, the chances of, the possibility of him coming will always be there. You cannot prevent that because it's a statutory act which has been passed here. However, whatever information he takes, you can ask him to keep it confidential. The next decision the court said was that, which is again the same Jim Hill Associates fought was that they said that, okay, I will allow him to come to my office, but he cannot take any papers out of my office. He can note down whatever he wants. None of my client papers should be taken out from my office. He can note down whatever he wants. This the court granted. The court said, yes, you're right. This is, he cannot, because there will be tampering of evidence, he can do whatever he wants with documents, he can give it to third parties, They said you can execute this agreement saying that you can come and check the files for whatever you want, but it cannot be taken out of my office premises. I'm just giving you a little bit of a background as to what happened in PCAOB, because for all practical purposes, the NFRA in the present form is PCAOB today. The NFRA in the present form is PCAOB today, but as I said, we'll discuss about the other parts of NFRA, Now what will happen when professional misconduct is there? They're saying that in the case of individuals, it can be only 1 lakh of rupees. Please don't think it's a small amount. 1 lakh of rupees we might as well pay and get off it. In case it's a firm they're talking about, it probably be around 10 lakhs of rupees. These are, the penal provisions here. I can tell all of you with a great deal of comfort right away that NFRA is one act which has never used the word called as imprisonment. Though the Companies Act is used very, very liberally, the NFRA provisions has never used the word called as imprisonment. So in case something goes wrong with your client, in case they find you guilty of not having documentation, violating NFRA provisions, not doing audit properly, Maximum you can be fined is 10 lakhs of rupees. So you can keep that in a separate FD account if you want. It will earn interest also. But it's a blessing in disguise, because in case that, I mean, as I said, there will be probably other provisions like, your firm's name will come on the NFRA website. They say, I've done the investigation of this firm. This is what has happened. Documentation defect is there. Whenever any of you get the time, this is my recommendation and also, please go to the PCAOB website. All their inspection reports are in public domain. All their inspection reports right from 2006. It's called PCAOBUS.org. Every single inspection report done by them is in public domain. It makes very good, interesting reading for us, not to check what mistake they have done, but probably to check how we can probably improve in our own documentation. Not to check, I mean, the mistakes they have done are obviously some very silly mistakes, some mistakes which are so apparent we'll be wondering whether it's a mistake at all in the first place. But those reports give us a sort of an inclination that, and the only thing which comes to mind to me is this word called as attention to detail. That's the only word which comes to my mind. They seem to have focused on the smallest points in the largest audits. Smallest point in the largest audit. So whenever you get the time, you'll probably go through that. That gives you a little bit of debarring the members of the firm from this again is a point of debate, saying that how can NFRA debar a CA issue member? Only ICA should do it. They can recommend to the ICA to do it, but NFRA as a body cannot do it. Though they have got powers as per Code of Civil Procedure, I think the Chartered Accountants Act 1949 overpowers NFRA in this regard. Maximum they can do is they can debar for a period of, as per the requirements of the Chartered Accountants Act. Again, talking about debarring, I should tell you this, but again, this is a topic which goes back a long time. Since we're talking about professional misconduct and all these things. In Chartered Accountant in Ahmedabad, called one Mr. Patel. In Ahmedabad, everybody is a Patel, but in this also is a Patel. 1969. He wrote a very small book, 40 pages book, how to convert B into W. You can please expand it yourself. It was a 40-page book. And he had given whatever building above capital, filing of income tax returns, pay nominal tax, all those policies which we are all experts in. It's a very small book. It is obviously very, very popular, especially in a state like Gujarat. Very popular book. Multiple editions sold. 1969, the book was brought out. In 78 or 80, somebody informed ICA saying that one member has been doing this. Is it not professional misconduct? ICA did not waste any time. Immediately sent him a notice saying that I believe you have been writing this book. Please come for a hearing to Delhi. But by this time, this man had already converted the book into multiple edition. Or even Gujarati version had also come out. He didn't have time to come at all. He just ignored the notice. 3 notices were sent. He completely ignored it. And that case just sort of, died a small natural death. In the year 2001, somebody suddenly observed that there are so many cases pending. We should call this man again. The original offence happened in 1970. In 2002, a notice was sent to him saying that last and final warning, please come for a hearing to Delhi, otherwise we will take action suo moto. What did Mr. Patel do? He said, this time I will go. I should not disappoint the institute, I will go there. So he went to Delhi, sat in front of the PD committee, and they said, this is a professional misconduct. He said, I can completely accept it, sir, this is a professional misconduct. Then you are guilty of professional misconduct. Then he said, what do you have to say? Then this man said, see, I am already 75 years old now. That book I have stopped writing. Multiple versions over, now I have stopped writing the book also. You please do whatever you want, I am guilty. I will not write this book again, he said. I have already written it. I will not write it again, he said. The PD committee at the time said, okay, fine. Since you are agreed that we are going to do this, we are going to bar you from membership for the period of 6 months. So Mr. Patel said, sir, see, I am telling you again, I am 75 years old. Stop my practice. I don't have anything to lose. Even if you bar me permanently, I have no problem. I said, no, we've got rules, we can only bar you for 6 months. We can't go beyond 6 months. Question is, if you debar a member now, if NFRA even recommends to ICA to debar a member, how long is debar going to happen? It appears that the section is untouched today, it will probably be only for 6 months and in continuation 6 months each. It can't be beyond 6 months, it appears to be right now. Unless, the offences are continuing offences and they can do it, maybe that's going to be amended, but...
No, Mohan R Lavi, you can be permanently removed.
Removed, okay.
As in the case of PWC, corporation and all, they have been permanently removed.
It depends on the offences, that's
The
what.
provision says that removal, unlike debarring here,
Ah.
the current provisions are removal of membership.
Correct.
The removal can be as low as a single day and it can be permanent.
Permanent.
As per the current.
It's not debarring, but it's removal.
It's called removal of membership.
Membership, yeah.
So you cease to be a member of this.
Yeah, so that is coming from PR Suresh, it must be 100% true. So I'm not even disputing that, right? So he talking about removal of membership, so that's fine. But debarring can probably be for some time. Let us not even talk about getting there. Why should we even talk about getting there? We should not. But I'm just saying, keeping it in your mind. Suppose you have ever have to face this PDC committee in your lifetime, please remember Mr. Patel's case and what PR Suresh said. This is a Indian version of the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, which I told you about, and we need to get into this discussion because I have always been a person recommending that as a body, NFRA should not get into this domain at all. Because if you look at the way the ICA has actually implemented Ind AS in India, it has to be appreciated. There is no other body, in fact I can tell you because we've done this implementation in quite a few cases. The most difficult standard in IFRS and Ind AS is IFRS 9 financial instruments. The most difficult standard, the most complicated standard, the most lengthiest standard. We were the first to implement it, even before the world got into it. Even though 30, 31 and 32 in AS was not mandatory, when we moved over to IFRS, we said don't worry about 30, 31 and 2. Wipro is the company which has probably given the best disclosure on IFRS 9, which other companies globally are following right now. We've got a situation in the institute wherein we've got a very strong body of accounting standards, knowledge, experience, and pronouncements also. I don't think there is any reason for any other body to come in and say that. Now say for example, your Ind AS 116 is going to come now on leases. Why should NFRA even bless it? I always feel insured to say, okay, go to MCA and say this was done, please announce it. It has already gone through the MCA route. It has already gone to SEBI route. It has already gone through RBI route. Everybody has seen these standards. We've asked for recommendations. But because of this provision now, NFRA will have to be a body which will have to come and say, okay, Ind AS 116 is okay, no problem. Exactly the same thing happened in NACAS. When the Ind AS standards came in, even before the standards were coming in, even when the AS was being revised also, the Companies Act, not 2013, 56 Act, Amendment Act, said that all accounting standards will be recommended by NACAS. This was a provision that old the Companies Act.
2006 amendment.
2006 amendment. One fine day they got up and said, okay, who is NACAS? We don't know who NACAS is. What is NACAS? Who is NACAS? So finally one day MCA said, okay, SEBI you send one person, RBI send one person, IRDA send one person, ICA send one person, all the insurance send one person. There were 25 people in one room. You are NACAS, they said. You people are NACAS now. We've got AS 1 to AS 29. Please go through it and say if it is okay. If you put 25 people in a room, give them 29 accounting standards and say please bless it, what will they do? This is all okay, no problem. In 24 hours, not even 28 hours, the entire AS 129 was blessed by NACAS. Exactly something similar is going to happen in NFRA for accounting. If it has to go through that route, let it go through. I'm not saying it should not go through the route, let it go through the route. I have absolutely no problem. But I seriously have a problem with, will NFRA and NFRA really contribute to accounting standards? Definitely no. Absolutely no. Because we are already doing it here. We've gone, I was a member of the Accounting Standards Board. I've gone for meetings to deliberate on accounting standards, and the only person who did not speak in that meeting was the MCA person. Everyone else spoke. The person who was supposed to present the accounting was the only person who was completely silent. He was only worried about his sandwich and samosa, not worried about the accounting standards. I think what the institute should probably do is that tell them that, okay, you are a body there, no problem, I'm sending it to you. If it is only going to be for the purpose of courier purposes, I have no issues at all. I seriously doubt whether NFRA is going to be technically qualified to even talk about, forget recommending any of the standards are going to come in. And as all of you know, the AS also is being now revised as per Indians. This requires competence. This does not require a body to bless it. This requires competence, and the only competence which I am 100% sure is lies in the institute. So this accounting standards will definitely be there, right? It has to be done by assembly. Okay, quality of service is already done. They have put in, as usual, in all these acts, they will put them on a residual clause saying that any other function related to the above, accounting standards, overseeing a profession, any other recommendation, that also NFRA can do. We would need clarity what they can do, what they cannot do. Can they tell an accounting firm what they should not do? I don't think so. So this clause, I think we should definitely represent for this clause to be removed, because it's, you are seeing it in other legislation also. The moment you give somebody power, what will they do? They will try to use it in the maximum extent possible. You are seeing it already in GST law. GST law unfortunately has got this provision saying that subject to such conditions, restrictions as can be prescribed. That means I am the person writing the law. I say, oh, I have to put some conditions down. I have to do it. So these general wordings should probably go away. As I said, they don't do anything new. And will NFRA have expertise? All these are points I already mentioned about. In short, my point is that NFRA is equal to NACAS plus peer review board plus decision declared as FRRB. Combination of all these four bodies is what I think is NFRA. There was a discussion. I mean, I was speaking to a lot of people in the institute also. I've written articles also about this in newspapers, and told them that one of the concerns which obviously comes is that is the institute's power going to be diluted? Some people have also gone to the extent of saying that institute will only be for students. The institute will only be for students. All members will move over to NFRA. This is the institute, this is NFRA. All students move this way. NFRA will only take care of other members. I mean, we've had such radical discussions also. But I'm just going to leave all of you the thought. Just think of all the regulatory bodies in India. You think of a SEBI, you think of an RBI, you think of a IRDA. None of them have ever functioned independently. None of them ever functioned independently. They are there for the purpose of regulation. They may regulate. I am not even saying they will regulate. But they will definitely require the assistance of chartered accountants. I am not saying all of you should apply for jobs in NFRA. But what I am saying is that even your own work to understand, they will come and ask you only. I think we should take this as an advantage, because it is going to be impossible for NFRA to get up to speed with what I have been talking about in terms of any of these, be it documentation, be it accounting standards, be it auditing standards. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to come up to speed. Now, whether they will come up to speed in terms of how it's going to be implemented in practice, particularly in Indian context, because we've had a little bit of I won't say bad experience, but sort of experience where we feel that regulators, when you start, everything is very, very dynamic. They go, oh my God, NFRA is there, I have to get scared of NFRA. Just to tell you a little bit about this thing again, PCAOB. The next 3 years I said that, oh, you know what, documentation is very, very fine. Companies in the US are perfect, no problem now. Auditors are learning. They are making some small documentations here and there which we are pointing out. There can be absolutely no other financial problems in the US. They use the word called as fraud. I use the word called as accounting accident. I don't want to use the word called fraud. I want to use the word accounting accident. US GAAP was 100% sure that courtesy Sarbanes-Oxley Act, so courtesy PCAOB, courtesy rule-based US GAAP standards, after Enron, nothing can go wrong. Then Lehman Brothers happened, 2008. Lehman Brothers was simple question of a failure of a bank. It's as simple as that. Bad lending, absolutely bad lending, and very aggressive accounting. Surprise, yeah. When Lehman Brothers happened, nobody spoke about PCAOB. They all were staying quiet. They said, no. Bank, no. Federal Reserve, not PCAOB. But the bank had auditors. The same bank had auditors also. After Lehman Brothers collapsed, the talk about PCAOB has completely diluted now. Nobody is having that, this thing. I'll show you a couple of examples what happened. But that body which was so sort of forcing on regulation, forcing on documentation, accounting, after Lehman Brothers collapsed again, they took a very silent role, and now they are just doing some basic administration work also. People have left PCAOB also. Many people have left the employment of PCAOB also. The question which arises now is, suppose your client has come up for inspection. Let us say the worst come to worst situation. Your client has come up for inspection. NFRA people come there, ask you for audit files. You give them 18 audit files. Right? It's a public listed company, you give them 18 audit files. First question is, what are they going to understand? One. Second, all of you know documentation very, very well. Audit files are extensively documented now, cross-referenced. How long are they going to be there? I don't see any of these provisions there. You should tell them that in case you're going for inspection from audit firm, we don't have entire time to welcome you. You tell us, do the audit in 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, as the case may be, depending on the size of the client. Those provisions don't seem to be here. So at starting itself, we are having a problem in NFRA. Because what those guys will come and see, forget their competence. There's no time limit, there's no guidelines, nothing. So this is what it is. The first client for NFRA, they instantly got their first client. There's a news report saying that ILFS will be the new audit, what's called the first test case. They already have this first client now. Now all of you have read enough about ILFS in the newspapers. Auditors guilty, not guilty, semi-guilty, maybe guilty. I'm not going to talk about all those things. If you want me to summarize the ILFS problem in one single sentence, it was just cash flow mismanagement. Nothing else but that. It was just cash flow mismanagement and rampant corporate governance problems. Those two are there. None of it comes in auditing that domain at all. The client can do whatever he wants with cash flow. It's not my problem at all. I don't have to comment in car also about cash flow. Corporate governance, company secretary is giving a report. What is one of auditors in this? So now this, you will understand how this NFRA is going to work, because NFRA came in the 1st of October. They said that first case for NFRA will be ILFS. But first time you already with somebody else. There is a body called Serious Fraud Investigation Office, who are already investigating ILFS even before NFRA came into the picture also. We already are having a situation in India wherein we have got a SFIO which is talking about, has done some work on NFRA, investigating as the case may be. Second, now NFRA is going to go there. You can imagine the fate of the co-auditor of ILFS now. He is going to face both NFRA, he is also going to face SFI.
And SEBI also.
And
SEBI also.
SEBI also, and all of these guys will come to the picture. Too many regulators, only one client. Who is going to investigate? Who is going to give it? Exactly the same situation happened in Satyam also. The moment he went around, the CBI said, okay, CBI, I'm going to take a rate to go all the files. Then SEBI went. SFIO went. Where are the files? The files are with CBI. SEBI went to CBI and said, please give the files. We'll do the file only after we complete investigation. After you complete investigation, what can I investigate? Already done now. So multiple regulators is a problem we've got in India. Again, I can tell you that the Serious Fraud Investigation Office has given to the NCLT a very detailed prelim report on ILFS. Already is given out, it's already there with NCLT. Whatever today you are seeing in the newspapers about selling of assets, selling of land, selling of flat, all those are coming courtesy of that SFI report. The point I am trying to make here is that the moment something big like this happens, there are other people already waiting to take up the job. SFIO has also investigated Rambaxi for their corporate governance, misdemeanors. They've been doing a lot of work, obviously, but it's been a very silent body till now. But this is probably the first report in the public domain. I mean, you can probably, I just tell you what they have mentioned here. Reckless loans to subsidiaries. When I use the word called reckless, I really mean reckless. The subsidiary was in trouble, okay, give a loan, no problem. Loan will not be repaid, no problem, give one more loan. It was nothing but cash flow mismanagement and corporate governance, which was flouted completely. Now, this report has already been given here. Employees Welfare Trust seems to be the main problem here. They were looking at the employee welfare of only a few people in the top management. They were supposed to give only housing loans to everybody, they only gave some top management people. So, you can see here that the reason why I put this up is every single one of you should probably think, can this be blamed on the auditor? Any of these facts? Can you blame the auditor for any of these facts? If you go and ask the client, you have given a loan to a subsidiary, can I have a board resolution? No problem, sir. One printout of a board resolution. Signed by the CEO. Board resolution, what does he require? Evergreening of loans is only a cash flow issue. Some subsidiary did not have money. You are not going to get into management calls here as an auditor. Okay, no. Right? And Employees Welfare Trust, where do you mention this? It's not there in audit report, not there in carve-out. It's not even in consolidated. Employees Trust is separate there. You can see within what shackles we as performing our functions. And today, the moment something like this happens, everybody asks the same question: who is the auditor? You should actually ask the question: who was the auditor? Because this could have been happening from last so many years. It's not.
That's what has happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Deloitte has done the audit of 16-17 and 15-16.
Correct.
And there we need to notice.
Correct.
The past auditors who also been issued.
Not the present auditors, right?
Present auditors and the past auditors.
And the past
both
auditors.
have been there.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, reckless loans, internal control systems have been diluted to that extent. So you need to report on that. And when it comes to evergreening, this comes under the NBFC. So it also has certain norms related
RBI norms also.
to that which have been
Possible, yeah.
So those are the areas in which you will find that.
It's possible. All I am saying is that this is a situation wherein you look at how complicated. And don't worry about the subsidiary. Think of the holding company. ILFS holding company not listed, 348 subsidiaries. 348 subsidiary companies, you are the consolidation auditor, you got 3 months to sign the report. What are you going to check? Can you check all these things? Relying on what of internal auditor. What will the internal auditor do? We do not know. Right? So, this is what has been given in the SFI report. All I am trying to make out is that as a post-mortem, all this looks very fine. This is brilliant as a post-mortem. I mean, you give any chartered accountant job, you do a much better job than this. Problem is, post-mortem is not going to help us in finding out situations when the transactions happen. That is what I think seems to be lacking now. I can give the best of reports now saying, okay, there's cash flow mismanagement, evergreening of loans was there, subsidiary company should not have taken the loans. This was very nice to know. There are bodies like SFIO who are specializing only in this job. My sole point here is, if SFIO is there, CBI is there, all other regulators are there, why should NFRA come into the picture now? More importantly, what will NFRA do? Who will come first, SFIO or will SFIO be dissolved? No, it will not be dissolved. They already have a proper office in Delhi which functions from 11 AM to 4 PM only. Doesn't work beyond 4 PM. They have investigated about 300 companies apparently. For the last 5-6 years, they have done some 300 investigations. What will NFRA come in and do now? Is it going to replace SFIO? Doesn't really seem like it, because SFIO does not have power to do accounting standards. Will it be an addition to SFIO? Appears to be so. In which case, as the audit companies are you really, or how many regulators are you really going to face? I think this becomes a question for highlighting. Okay. Now, again, the good news is that the CO motor power to monitor companies is that all listed companies, definitely. So if you've got a listed company's auditor, please be careful. NFRA, no need for notice, no need for registration, direct investigation. They can come and ask any questions, right? Or in case there are unlisted public companies, paid a capital of less than not less than 500 crores, turnover more than 1,000 crores, or loans, deposits, debentures not less than 500. So there are some restrictions on, or there are some mathematical limits given to these companies. So what will happen here is that if it is a listed company, no need for even worrying about it. They have got a CO motor power to enter your premises and ask for questions. Any of the other mathematical combination of companies, there is a form called as NFRA 1 form, which will have to be filed, in which you are saying who is the auditor, when was he appointed, resolution copy, all those documentation will be filed with the NFRA. So NFRA has now got information about not only listed company auditors clients, but also the entire set of other clients also, wherein they are going to say, okay, for this particular company, PR Suresh is the auditor. He is not going to do anything with that information. It is there with him, that's all. One of the biggest risks with this information is that, can this information be misused? Being a regulatory body, I am assuming no. Being a regulatory body, I am assuming it should not be misused. But you never know. Stranger things have happened in the, this thing here. Anyway, so
public bodies are governed by RTA. So if anybody asks, they may
have to give the information. They may have to give the information. That's what I'm trying to say. So in case you want to know who the company's auditor is, small company. See, there was software company in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, RJSS Software Systems, doing payroll software. Apparently doing very, very well. It was a private limited company. Filing the ROC was all perfect. And employees also appear to be very, very happy. Last year, 2017, 1st of August, employees went to the office was locked. They said, okay, maybe the security guard has not come. Till 12 o'clock they waited, security guard also vanished. Overnight, the promoters vanished. Overnight. After securing a loan of about 50 crores from the bank the previous day, the money was transferred to their personal accounts, they vanished. House address they went, no information. Obviously wrong house address. Aadhaar card, never used for any case. All the employees said, okay, we'll file a case and find out what happened to these people. Now the question is, what happened, because he mentioned about, public domain here, who do you file a case against? They said, okay, whatever the man's name was, Harsh, whatever his name was, they put a case saying that missing person report went to the police station, saying missing person. So all these employees are worried, saying that one is no job, second is overnight. We did not do anything last evening. How can suddenly a person vanish like this? It can't happen like this. Just overnight, how can a person vanish? So then they said that maybe the only person who got some information is the auditor. So one employee said, we'll go and ask the auditor, he may know something about these people. Luckily, the auditor was there, he didn't go missing. They went and asked the auditor saying that, what is this? This fellow has gone away like this, everybody is taken a loan from the bank. This auditor said, I don't know anything about it. But since his name was mentioned, the police people came to his house in the office and said that I want to search all your files. He searched all the files. All he could get was a form MGT 7 and that filing of the annual return. Auditor statements, nothing else was there. Auditor was said to be, not guilty, I am okay, so it's auditor in which case. The question is, people are now saying, looking upon auditors for such things also. Does he have any information? Did he know anything about this? They can look for about 3 days. Ask him, do you know information? Can you give me your phone? I want to see your phone records. And checking the phone records for a person in Gujarat will be difficult because everybody will pertain only. How do you check whose number you want, who number you called? But he went through a harrowing time and he said, okay, I do not know anything about this. The only point he made in court was that last 3 years the audit fees has not been paid. So he said, in case you are recovering some money from any means, I am also the list. You can at least ensure that my 2 lakhs of rupees audit fees per year, 6 lakhs of rupees, I get that money to whatever extent it is possible. So we will now, this information is going to be available in the NFRA. I am hoping that NFRA will not misuse the information because they should act responsibly, but we'll see how it goes in terms of, actual this thing. Okay. Now, what is NFRA's key responsibility area? Protect the public interest and the interest of investors. This is a very, huge statement to make. Protect the public interest and interest of investors, creditors, and others also in the company. We have, SEBI is already doing this to a certain extent, but NFRA now not only stepping in territory of ICA, they also stepping in the territory of SEBI now. And how are they proposed to do it? Doing it? High quality standards of accounting and auditing, it seems. Again, the government around the auditing. Any of you who have probably done an Ind AS and IFRS will probably understand this. The standard IAS 1 only says this, saying that in case you follow all the IAS standards or IFRS standards, it is assumed that the financial statements are true and fair. It is there in the framework, it is there in IAS 1 also. So all I have to do as a company is that if I am following all the prescribed Ind AS standards, my financial statements are true and fair. I don't have to worry too much about it. Now they are saying I have to protect the interest of the investors. Now here the question is, what is the interest of the investors? If you are an investor in a company, what do you look for? If the company is going properly, you will say, okay, fine, I only want one number. What is the dividend? That's all. You are not worried about the profits, nothing about it. If something goes wrong, you will be worried about who is responsible for this going wrong. Accounting and auditing alone will not be able to protect the interest of investors. It's much more beyond this. This is not a question of only accounting and auditing. Accounting and auditing are only one small pie in this entire game of protecting the interest of investors. There can be situations wherein rampant cash flow mismanagement has happened, as you've seen in ILFS. Corporate governance norms have been flouted, as you've seen in other companies also. And also you please understand that whatever frauds, accounting actions you're seeing today, there is always a pattern. There will be one subsidiary company involved. There will be some bank account involved. We all know it. It cannot happen overnight like that. There will always be some subsidiary company involved. There will be a bank involved. There will be a person working in the company is also involved. Invariably. This is a regular pattern is established. The best person to protect the interest of investors is not the statutory auditor. It is internal auditor. Statutory auditor can only help. Internal auditor is there. He is supposed to be there at least day in and day out. If anybody can protect the interest of the investor, power should be given to the internal auditor. Now NFRA is going to come after everything is over. Internal audit is over, ICFR is over, statutory audit is over. NFRA is going to come out and say, I want to protect the interest of investor. How will they do it? We do not seem to, but they seem to be working only on the accounting policies here. Okay. And you can see here what is going to be approved. The same thing keeps repeating again and again. And the sixth point is very, very interesting. Promote awareness in relation to compliance to accounting and auditing standards. They are also become advertising agencies now. You see where and all they are trying to get into now. They have already worked into the, what you can say, prescribing accounting standards. Now they want to say that develop awareness. How they develop awareness? I'm not even going to get into that. Invariably you will see what is going to happen is, you take for example RBI. Right? Take for example RBI. Anything regarding IFRS for banks, it is only RBI. MCA, ICA have absolutely no power. We can only recommend. RBI will state that banks will follow IFRS in 2020. That's all over, done. They will follow IFRS in this particular manner. It's all been done. They have already been advertising. Why should NFRA come and say I promote now for banks? Again, some of these legislations only for the purpose of, only for the purpose of putting something in there.
The previous slide, what
Yes.
is the fifth point? It says cooperate with national and international.
Oh yeah, I was coming to that. Yeah. You may have PCAOB branch office in India now. NFRA may be the PCAOB branch office in India.
So you can understand what is international organization to do with NFRA. unless there is a subsidiary of an Indian company abroad and...
It's only there for the purpose of putting their reservations on. But I think what will invariably happen, if you look at any of these things which has happened in the past also, they'll have some sort of a loose tie-up. They'll say, I'll exchange information. It will invariably in the form of quality standards and all these things. So I would not really think that will work too much against the NFRA, but anyway, let me there. Please read the second part of the slide first, then go to the first part. Recommending standards, they have received recommendation from ICAO, it seems. All the time they are saying that I will prescribe, I'll promote. Now finally they are saying that for the purpose of preserving accounting standards, they shall receive recommendations from ICAO. Now you know what is the role of ICAO now. Accounting standards will still be done by us only. That's not going to go away. Index will be done by us only. We will have to send one courier to NFRA saying that Index 116 is there, please read it. They may not read it, but they miss it. So this provision gives a little bit of hope now for us, saying that we will not get standards which we do not have any control over. See, one of the problems in US GAAP has always been that there are two bodies in the US. One is the PCAOB and one is what is called as the FASB. There's always been this clash between the two. Which is going to be more powerful, PCAOB or FASB? The clash is always going to be there. But PCAOB said that, okay, FASB is already doing all this work, I'll simply agree with what FASB is doing. I don't have to worry about it, I'll just prescribe it. So, NFRA may probably play a similar role, and they will probably come out and say that Index 116, ICAO has issued the draft, we bless it. That's what they're only going to do, blessing role, right? Accounting standards, the authority may review the financial statements. This is where the FRRB comes in. Again, I should tell you that FRRB has been doing an excellent job in terms of giving recommendations, what has gone wrong, presentation, disclosures, qualification audit reports. There's a whole bunch of information over the last 20 years which ICAO has developed. NFRA is starting tomorrow. I mean, they're just starting now. A new body which comes in with absolutely no experience, vis-a-vis a body which has got 20 years of annual reports in which they have recommended what should be done, what should not be done. Obviously, it's very clear that they will probably come back to the ICAO and say that, can you please tell me how to read an annual report? What is wrong with this annual report? I'm sure that's going to happen now, because they are sort of, overreaching themselves now, and now they have said that they will try to sort of review the financial statements and, for the purpose of direct such company to follow certain principles there. Again, this is only for the purpose of general consumption. Annual report today is not a small document. Smallest annual report is 100 pages if you ask me. Smallest annual report will be 100 pages. It is not only the number of pages which matter, it is the content also, which is important. We are giving a whole bunch of disclosures there. For example, again going back to Index, going back to IFRS, going back to the AS10 itself, I am giving revised AS10, I am giving so much of information, investment property and all these things. Is NFRA going to come in and say, okay fine, this is not correct? We've already done that hard work for them. It's already there with the ICAO. All I am saying is that NFRA has got a very simple way out. They should appoint ICAO as a consultant. You are there as a body. We cannot remove you from the Companies Act. You are already there. 90% of what you have to do in the future already done in the past. You've already done. Review is there. I can see reports. We've seen some brilliant reports when ICAO said that qualification should have not been there in audit report. It didn't deserve a qualification. Didn't deserve an EOM also. You've done all the hard work, and now NFRA is going to come back and say, no, maybe you should qualify. Are they going to do it? We do not know. But I'm saying, I'm sure they'll come up onto us also. So now we have a glimmer of hope. NFRA as a body may not be able to do much. They will always going to look upon outside support here. I am 100% sure that they will approach the FRRB and say that, can you please give me your past reports? We want to see your recommendations. ICAO will probably give it out. I'm sure the ICAO will give it out. They're going to come back and say that, we've seen your recommendations, we didn't understand them, can vote for us again. This is exactly what is going to happen in NFRA, in my opinion. Auditing standards, this again, they're talking about reviewing the working papers. I've already spoken a little bit about this in the past. Now, I would probably think that this is again going to be a situation wherein it probably would depend upon the event. I'm talking about the event here. If it's a small private limited company, something wrong has happened, I don't think NFRA should be too worried about it. They are saying up to 1 crore of rupees, ICA will take care of it. Above 1 crore of rupees, they come in this picture. This is what they mentioned here. 1 crore is the problem, not the turnover of the company. Any issue beyond 1 crore, for fraud beyond 1 crore of rupees, NFRA will come into play. Anything below 1 crore of rupees, ICA will handle it. So this seems to be the strategy, but again, review the auditing working papers, review the other documents, communication to audit, quality control. Again, if you go back to our peer review board, go back to what you've been doing here, these are things in which you've already been there, done it. I don't think NFRA is going to add anything new in this. I'm repeatedly making the same point, saying that they are trying to do something which has already been done. So what will be their effectiveness as a body is something we have to worry about. Okay, and authority may require the auditor to report on its governance practices and internal processes designed to promote quality. I mean, again, this is only for the purpose of this thing. Okay, so this is what we have seen, I told you about. This is what I have seen in the US, PCAOB. The name of the firm comes in here, published report comes in there, saying we have reviewed the audit report of this particular entity and we found this is sort of, problems here. So, you can see the basis here. NFRA will apply these rules in which cases which may involve fraud of greater than 1 crore of rupees. Anything below 1 crore of rupees, they say will go back to the ICA. Cases below rupees 1 crore will continue to be investigated by the ICA. I put this word continue in bold purposely. I put this in bold purposely. When the NFRA provisions were drafted, since they have used the word called continue here, it appears that they were looking to usurp some powers from ICA. It appears so. This is not a question of what the Prime Minister spoke when he called the chartered accountants. This is not a question of that at all. There appears to be a concerted attempt here, saying that up to 1 crore rupees you guys handle. Beyond that, you are not competent to handle, we will handle it. This appears to be the way the legislation is drafted here. Now, the problem here is that they are saying that which may involve fraud of more than 1 crore of rupees. If I ask you what is the extent of ILFS fraud, what would you say? You would say today is 1,300 crores. Tomorrow it is going to be 5,000 crores. Day after tomorrow it will be some higher figure. When is this qualification going to come of 1 crore of rupees? At what point of time? The moment something wrong happens, it doesn't really mean that there is going to be an amount which will be put into that. And that's the first point. The second point is 1 crore is extremely small amount. 1 crore rupees cannot even be material for the company involved. So this definitely has to be rethought. They should probably say that anything beyond 100 crores of rupees they look into. Anything below 100 crores of rupees let the ICA look into. Because then we'll have a situation when NFRA, NFRA and SFI will be fighting with each other. Who came first to the client? Let them fight, no problem. But 1 crore of rupees is not even going to be a fraud if you ask me. It will not even qualified to be a fraud or as the case in accounting action as the case. So how is this going to be qualified is one problem we've got. Many a time you will see that these limits are put only for the purpose of putting some limits there. They want to put a number, they put 1 crore rupees. So, and I do not know whether anybody has got a different experience, but I have not seen any case in public domain where it has been less than 1 crore rupees. 75 lakhs rupees, 80 lakhs rupees. I have never seen such cases there. So this limit will definitely have to be rethought here, right?
But
yes, sir.
The power to investigate is only on fraud or on anything which is non-compliance of the standards and other things?
Or anything.
So it's not only on fraud.
Non-compliance of standard can involve an amount of 1 crore, no?
It should be on. So it need not.
Revenue recognition.
The power to investigate is not restricted only to fraud.
Not to fraud.
For any non-compliance of standards on audit.
All NFRA provisions.
Then all the cases will go to NFRA.
Yes, obviously, that's what I'm saying. The limit will be extremely small. I'm saying you should make it 100 crores, minimum 100 crores of rupees. I think this is where PR solution can help a lot. I think you can probably directly talk to NFRA people and get it done. So what is going to be the process here? Auditor will get a show cause notice saying that you was the auditor of this company, there was a problem in this company, revenue recognition policy is wrong, amount involved is more than 1 crore rupees, and a notice to the firm shall be deemed to be a notice to all the partners of the firm, it seems. Poor dummy partners. They all have to wake up now.
Not just dummy partners. See, there are partners who are in charge of. So
Not really audit at all.
even in a firm,
Correct.
particular assignment, there is an in charge partner.
Yeah.
And he will be the only person who will be having the domain and understanding of
Correct.
what work has been done. And even in the current domain of the discipline mechanism, the firm is due to inform who is the in charge partner. And the
Correct.
proceedings will be started on him and the firm together. But this looks very draconian.
But if you go down a little bit, he says that the notice shall be called upon the firm to disclose the name of the partner. So they will send a notice saying that, boss, all of you are involved in this, but please tell me who is actually more involved. So I will say, okay, this partner was involved. I mean, ultimately it comes to the signing partner, if you ask me. End of the day is going to be the signing partner. It will come to the firm will say, okay, this person is there. And the show cause notice has to be disposed of within 90 days. So just imagine a very interesting situation wherein, as I said, I am hoping none of you will get this show cause notice. Assume it does. Assume you do for a moment, theoretically speaking. You have a client, let us say revenue recognition, let us not use the word fraud because it's a very bad word to use for chartered accountants. There was a misinterpretation of revenue recognition accounting standard. NFRA feels that revenue recognition has been undisclosed, understated by let us say 5 crores of rupees. Because of non-following of accounting standard AS or Indies as the case may be. You get a notice saying that under-reporting of revenue of 5 crores of rupees detected in one company in which you have audited. And it is supposed to be all the firm. You will say, okay boss, I don't know about this, my partner said, you please ask him. You will name the partner. Firm details are already available in NFRA, please remember. Details of the firm are already available in NFRA. NFRA, one form has already been filed. You will say, okay, Mohan is a partner, he signed the report, so he will be responsible. What can NFRA do? They can either take no action, they can caution the auditor, or they can action for imposing penalty of, if it's individual 1 lakh of rupees, firm 10 lakhs of rupees. And copies of the order will be sent to ICA, C&AG, RBI, SEBI, IRDA. Only police stations left out from this. That they not do. Is that luckily not? Those are not mentioned. Don't give them any ideas now. 3 things they can do. So what is going to happen? Yes, sir.
That's an interesting situation. What happens if the auditor or the signing partner is no longer with the firm? He's left, gone, something happens.
That's why they say that all the parties will be the responsible. You have to name somebody, obviously. You have to name somebody. Caution, okay, no action is a very simple word. No action is very, very simple. You will go, he'll call you and say, boss, under revenue recognition, you not followed, AS9, or not followed Ind AS 115. You will do 20 annual reports saying, sir, I am correct, you are wrong. All these companies have followed it, therefore you are wrong. In that case, no action. You will say, okay, fine, no problem. Don't confuse me too much. I am okay. No action is the ideal situation to have, good situation to have. Second can be caution. Caution is a very nice word. Normally we say caution because be careful. Ultimate word for caution is be careful. That's all. What will he caution you about? This time you made a mistake. Next time make someone not to say mistake. That may be caution if you ask. But what is he going to say in caution? He can probably say, okay, maybe your documentation is not perfect, maybe you have not done proper audit, maybe you sort of missed out on a few points. This is very interesting. Caution is very interesting. I will come to caution a little bit later on. Final point is, he can give you actions saying that either pay 1 lakh of rupees as an individual or 10 lakh as a firm. This is the final point. And the copy of this order will be sent to all these bodies, all the SFI, apart from SFI.
But by IRDA, sir, not copy should be sent to IRDA.
If you are an insurance company, it will go to IRDA. Not if you are a non-insurance company. They put all the bodies together, bunch them together, that's all. In this case of revenue recognition of 5 crores of rupees, what do you think will happen? Please remember the background. NFRA person comes, has no idea about Ind AS 115 at all. He's got information from somebody saying that violation of Ind AS 115 is there. He has absolutely no idea. He's got 3 possible actions he can do. Action, which is penalty, caution or no action. The most interesting question that comes up here is that when the NFRA person comes to your office, sits with you and talks about this, can you negotiate? I'm going to leave with this point. Okay, I'm not going to say we can negotiate or not because I don't know who's going to come, right? It appears to be possible at least. Now, more importantly, once the penalty has been pronounced, only 1 month time you have got to pay the penalty. No installment facility. 10 lakhs rupees also 1 month only. You can't ask for installments. And if I do not pay the penalty, this is very interesting. He will write to the company and say, please change the order. If I don't pay the penalty within 1 month, NFRA will write to the company and say that this fellow is investigated, I passed an order against him, he has not paid the penalty, please change your auditor. Very interesting point comes up. What if the company does not want to change the auditor? I don't think they have a choice. I think they have to change. So the sequence of events appears to end here, saying that they will investigate whatever they have to investigate. They have got 3 options in front of them. No action, action or caution. You please decide what is going to be the best course of action then. Only problem is if they pass the order adversely and there is a penalty involved, within 1 month you have to pay the penalty. Otherwise they write to the company saying that please appoint another auditor. This seems to be the sequence of the events here. And of course this I already told you about. How should audit firms be prepared? Assuming that they are here to stay, I am just saying that they are going to here because it's already been passed as a regulation, and we know for a fact that any of these numbers, any of the legislation that have been passed will not be undone. They'll work in coalition or in alliance with other bodies, but they'll never go away. This provision will never go away. We've been, as I said earlier also, we've been fighting a lot about this. Many representations have gone to the NFRA, to the NCA also saying that NFRA should not come. What will they do? Can they really be effective? All these things have been mentioned, but I'm not going to say why it has come in, but it appears this government is very keen that NFRA should be, so it is here to stay. So what can we do? We can go back to what PCAOB has been done, right? I tell you about this PCAOB case because this just gives an idea of the number of cases there. Now, some of these numbers can actually make it very startling. If you just look at the first point, revenue recognition, we are talking about how many companies have investigated. In terms of revenue recognition alone, there are saying 112 companies, 73 companies have found a problem in revenue recognition. Not in terms of policy, in terms of documentation, dismantled only. Now this becomes an area where we as auditors probably need to be a little bit careful. Irrespective of NFRA, I am saying, don't worry about NFRA at all. They will come, they will have 3 option points, you can do whatever you want. I think this is more from the point of view of ourselves more than worrying about NFRA. Let us not worry about NFRA, that's okay. They are there, they will come, they may come. What are our policies to, in case somebody does come and ask any questions, are we really prepared? If you look at what PCAOB has been doing, especially the first 3 years, it appears that there is only one single solution to this, which is extensive documentation, extensive representation, informing the client about every single thing which has happened. This is something which appears to be absolutely not negotiable now. I am not even saying that PCAOB, NFRA will come to action with PCAOB, but I am saying that these are situations wherein this really causes concern because there are 112 companies, 70 companies have not done proper revenue audits. There can always be an issue which is going to be raised here, right? Other things have also come in here. Documentation. There's a very interesting case which came up first for telephone acceptance. This is a very interesting case which came up again from the PCAOB case, right? PCAOB domain. There was a listed company in the US, and unfortunately, the listed company, the auditor passed away, or the main auditor, whoever it was, he passed away. And the company was searching for one more auditor. They asked somebody to audit firm, do you know anybody? They recommended one more person's name. So the previous auditor's associate called up the new auditor and said that, I believe that you recommended my name to this company. Is it true? He said, yeah, this is a very good company, there are no problems. They are into this telecommunication business, they've got a very good management board and all these things. So the new auditor apparently said, oh yeah, okay, fine, no problem, I'll accept the audit. And he kept the phone down, went the next day and started the audit. The PCAOB has said that, in their report they have mentioned that, why did I take audit on a telephone call? Did you go and see the company? Did you go and visit the company? Did you make your, set of questions on the company, checklist, whatever you had to do for the company. Did you do due diligence? Nothing was done. They said that your audit procedure, your documentation, your internal governance practices for accepting audits are weak. Now, this is where I think we need to step a little bit or probably stop for a moment and think that is this really required in the Indian context? I mean, maybe as I said, as a postmortem, may all sound to us, you know what, this is something very, very important for us. We have to really think of this and, document everything. All of us know for a fact that in the general practical world, tomorrow morning when you get back to your office, this is not going to be possible. There will be documentation which has to be obtained, which will not be obtained. I am not saying purposely. I am not saying purposely. It will not be obtained for the purpose of different reasons. I think what we should probably do now is that pause for a moment after the audit is over or during the audit itself. Look back at the documentation, look at correspondence, what has been informed to the client, what has not been informed to the client. All these things have to do a small sort of a check and see that this process of information between the client and you, between the people who are involved in audit and you, and the client also, is absolutely transparent. I don't want to overemphasize on this point. All I'm trying to basically say here is that if a third person comes in and says that, you know what, your documentation is absolutely brilliant, but one problem is there. I don't like the color of your file. Because you get such comments. So, I mean, color of the file really doesn't matter here. I'm talking in matters of audit. I've always maintained this. I'm going to repeat it here again. Please try to develop checklists which are specific for the client. Don't go by copy and paste checklists. The old world of copy and paste checklists have gone away now. Let it be a car audit, let it be a bank audit, let it be a branch audit, let it be a stock verification audit. Please develop a separate checklist, because I can tell you that checklist templates not specific to the client can land you in trouble. Many a time, your Caro, for example, audit report in Caro does not have even a single word called impairment. There's an impairment in a client's place, who's going to check this? It's very nice of you to say that, you know what, impairment is the client's responsibility. I don't know anything about impairment. You just imagine an article you are going with your checklist, which does not have a single word about impairment. All he or she really checks is FIR maintained? Maintained, tick. Physical verification done? Give you one very, loose report, verification done, 2 laptops missing, that's all, okay, no problem. Impairment is never mentioned there at all. If there is an impairment of an asset, God forbid in the client's place, until and unless he comes and tells you, you are not going to know about it. So here I think we need to be a little bit careful. Develop checklists which are specific to the client. Think of all the possible situations. Maybe put in a word saying that, was there impairment of goodwill? Was there impairment of financial assets? Because I mentioned this in the past also. I always remember the checklist of Punjab National Bank a long time back. This is not done by chartered accountants, so don't think it's about chartered accountants here. Internal inspectors of Punjab National Bank, PNB. They have an inspection department. They go all over the country. They go to 10 branches, do inspection report and come. Inspection report is only checklist based. Only checklist. And you only answer yes or no. You can't write maybe also. You only have to take yes or no, that's all. The checklist is so detailed. 85 pages checklist was there. Every branch, inspection report, 85 pages checklist. They have to report yes or no. Currency Chest branch in Chennai, one inspector is doing the audit report, looking at the checklist, look at all the points in the checklist, you got these few points. Does the bank have a security guard? What does he have to answer?
Yes.
You can only answer yes or no. You have to answer yes or no. You can't, so it looks out, oh, guard is there, no problem. Does the guard change security duty every 8 hours? So it takes a bit of effort. He says, okay, go. He goes and do you have a register? The register is there. Are you changing duty 8 hours? Yes, sir. No problem. Tick. Yes. Does the security guard have a gun? So you can see, I don't want to ask him that. I can see gun is there. Yes for that also. Last point, does the gun have bullets?
Should be operated.
Now this the auditor could not do, but you want to ask him. Right? So you ask him, I want to see the bullets. The person says, no bullets, I only convinced them. So what did he did? He did no one set off. His only job is to take yes or no. He did no report on to PNP head office in Delhi. Was in after 4 years. Suddenly one man found out, said, "Hey boss, Chennai branch, there is no bullet in the gun at all. Please call him immediately." The branch was closed by that time. This could be a problem in your checklist-based auditing. So, when we are looking at bodies like NFRA and all coming out, let's face the fact that NFRA for us is a third party. He is not anything to do with the profession. NFRA is going to be a third party. When we have a third party entering our premises, at least from our internal point of view, I think we should be absolutely clear saying that he cannot raise, a single question about it, right? Okay, so I'm just giving you a few points. What did they find out about the revenue recognition? This is again from the PCAOB in the US. Did not obtain understanding of key products and sources of revenue. Did not obtain a sufficient understanding of ICFR. All of you already know ICFR reports, so I'm not going to comment on that. But I'll take you back to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in the US, which also came after Enron happened. The entire Sarbanes-Oxley Act, only one section was very, very useful, section 404. It said internal control of financial reporting, what is included by ICFR. All other sections are absolute unnecessary sections. Section 404 said that in any company, every single year, please do a walkthrough of your ICFR, selected areas of ICFR, and report it every year. You can choose a different area. This way you can choose revenue, next you can choose purchases, property, plant and equipment, assets, all these things you can choose. Section 404 only said that do a walkthrough. Walkthrough means what? Right from the moment the order is raised till actual installation happens, entire process go through, find out if there are any problems. If there are problems, please rectify them immediately. This is all section 404 said. Even in terms of revenue recognition, you can have problems. Capitalization can have problems. Your capitalization can be delayed because of your internal process. In the terms of revenue recognition, the PCAOB appears to be saying that, they had did not material extent of testing was insufficient. So there appears to be these comments that are going to come in saying that, okay, why did you choose only this much of a sample? Why not the entire sample? Such questions are going to come up here. Again, I'm emphasizing the requirement for you to probably strategize the audit in such a manner that this question cannot come. We know that in a typical situation for a listed company, limited review, we really don't have to worry too much about it because only limited review report. But I think basically what will be questioned is your year-end audit. If at all something is questioned, I'm saying. It will be a year-end audit. They will probably, because documentation on this is built up only for the year-end audit here, we need to be a little bit extra careful there for, again, as a fraud risk and all these things, I'm just giving the reports, anyway the presentation will be the branch, I'll just tell you. We have to go back and ask this question to ourselves. I think this question has been answered generally in many forums. Again, because NFRA is going to come in here, this entire question of bloodhound versus watchdog, what is the auditor's responsibility? Is he really a watchdog now, considering the fact that all these things have happened? What can he do? These questions will continue to remain. Correct? This continue to continue. I mean, even the question of independence of an auditor, that also is questioned even today, because you really can't force independence of an auditor. It's not an auditor, it's a person. I'm independent or not independent, it's as simple as that. It doesn't really matter, I can't say I'm not independent. It's how the personal, it's entirely personal characteristic here. What will happen now is that even if there is a small element of a problem, they're going to put it back on us. I am not saying that detection of a fraud is our responsibility. I certainly don't believe it. Especially a statutory auditor does not have a job at all. Definitely no. But what will happen is that during the process of an audit, as all of you are aware, there can be situations wherein we may have to compromise. We have to be very honest about this, we have to be forthright about this. There can be situations wherein we have to compromise. I think what is going to be important is that when we make that compromise, do we have sufficient backing to justify a compromise? That's what we're talking about here. accounting, auditing, accounting standards, end of the day are only a question of judgment. It is my judgment versus yours. You take for example 115, I have always been defending that POC method can be continued for a construction company. I still maintain it. But other firms simply say, no, it's only the complete contract method. It's only a question of judgment. I cannot say that my judgment is wrong, his judgment is wrong. Right? In terms of judgment, it is possible that people can differ. Auditor can differ, client can differ, internal auditor can differ, all the people can differ in terms of judgment. No issues as far as that is concerned. I think what we have to think of, as I said again, leaving NFRA aside is, do I have sufficient evidence in my working files, in my documentation to prove that my judgment has been absolutely correct? Or I took my judgment on the basis of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. We will have to go, as I said, one step further now and ensure that this compliance, this document and this satisfaction is made in us, because as I said, in many cases what happens is that we know it is there, but actually it is not there. The document I'm talking about. We feel it is there and we always say, you know what, I know the client very well, he'll always give to me, later on. I don't think we may have the luxury of having that comfort now. Maybe within 1 month of the audit, or the auditing standard says 3 months of the audit, please ensure that a complete review of your documentation is done. Keep the documentation intact, spend some time on it, doesn't really matter. It will only want to help you in the future than this thing here. They have also gone to journal entry level, the PCAOB in the US. They have also gone to journal entry level and said that determining testing journal entry should address manual override of control. So they are talking about who is authorizing journal entry. Can the journal entry has been authorized properly? All this they have got into. This is obviously a case wherein journal entry has been used to overshadow the results. It's very obvious. Otherwise, why would the PCAOB even get into this? But it gives us a little bit of hint that this is not only a question of documentation, it also appears to be a question of what are the numbers getting into the documentation. That also may possibly come in here. But anyway, so I should tell you about this, it's not only in India, but anyway, there is a company called Carillion in the US, in the UK. Don't worry about the slide here, it's a pretty long, lengthy slide. It's talking about, I tell you what happened in this company. It was a construction company in the United Kingdom, UK, and had a very big firm as auditor for the last 26 years, that's what they mentioned here. Last 14 years, so much of money has been paid in all those things. This is exactly similar to what happened in ILFS, in Carillion. They could not repay the debts. They deferred on one payment of government bonds, which had the private lender to the bank. They deferred the payment of those bonds, of the bank loan also subsequently. And suddenly the entire thing came down. Overnight they collapsed. Overnight they collapsed. The company shut down. They said, we want to apply for bankruptcy in the UK. Everybody was surprised, saying that how can this company, which is a listed company, doing so well, again complies over. They went back and questioned, what is your judgment made, who are your auditors? I purposely not put the name of the auditor here. There was a UK parliamentary probe into this company. The UK Parliament appointed some MLAs and a probe was conducted. The probe called the CEO, CFO, top management, KMB people, company secretary, everybody, also called the auditors. The question which she asked the auditor was that, I know you've got auditing standards, I know you've got auditing standards, I know everything is there. I don't see even a hint in your report that this can happen. The auditor said, sir, you know what, we are bound by IFRS standards, this is that. He said, all that is fine. I already know about that. I don't see even a hint in your report for the last 17 years saying that this is a company in which there is a cash flow issue. Over and above your auditing standards and accounting standards, you as the auditor should have probably warned the company itself, forget about outsiders, that something may go wrong. The auditor tried to defend his stand very vehemently, saying that no, I cannot do this, it is not our job to report fraud, I am only watchdog, I am not account, all those things he said. The legislator in the UK obviously got very, very upset. There's a video of it on the, on YouTube also, right? The legislature told the auditor this accounting firm saying that I will not trust you to audit the contents of my fridge, because after I see your report, I don't know what is inside the fridge also. It was such a stark and very, very harsh making his audit firm. Now all he was maintaining was that, fine, revenue recognition, they are doing POC method, agreed, allowed as per the, all that is fine. The fact that the revenue was not actual revenue was never told at all. You are following an accounting standard, I am not saying no, that is perfectly okay. This is all billing to your own companies, subsidiary companies, actually not revenue. You followed an accounting policy, that's fine, but you did not report the fact that these revenues are not recoverable at all. This became a big case in the UK. I think that the present environment we are talking about in terms of NFRA and all these people are coming because such incidents appear to be happening a little bit too frequently for comfort. There is no pattern to this, but if it happens, it happens on this scale, extremely large scale. Now one shareholder in Canadian said that forget top management, forget CEO. She went to the UK House of Court and said, anyway your proceedings there, what are the auditors being doing? She went and said that we've been talking about right from Enron days of our auditors now. Her question was that too few auditors are doing too many audits. She said, please break up the audit firms. We don't want only 4 or 5 people doing all the big audits. We require better auditors. So please spread out the audit firms. All the listed companies, we can give it over more than 40, 50 auditors. Because what is going to happen is that if you give too few firms too many audits, this is going to happen. The United Kingdom is actually now looking at a legislation. They're actually trying to look at a legislation wherein they're saying that audit, forget rotation, right? Forget rotation. Audit firms should also have, the listed companies can also go a little bit broader and they should probably look out to other people also for audits. This seems to be coming out, may not come right now because of Brexit, but maybe it's possible that, we may have this thing. So, this is what is happening across the world. Now, whether the firm did it on purpose or not, we're not going to worry about it. That is not our this thing at all here. That's not a point of discussion at all here. When that UK legislator asked this question saying that 17 years of auditor, not even one audit report, I see even one sign of weakness. This is not acceptable. You should have mentioned somewhere saying that this company may have a financial problem. We would have been happy about it, but that did not seem to be happening here. That's what is happening, right? Okay, the other things which have come up here are fair value measurements. All these are, of course, only judgment. This is what is coming from the PCAOB I'm talking about. So, again, we are going to talk about the question of fair valuation because a certain level of fair valuation also going to come to the AS world. As I said, the AS standards are being revised to Ind AS. We will also have a question of, this is entirely a judgmental issue here. We don't have to worry about who's doing the fair valuation. It's not a problem. As an auditor, I think all you really have to think is this fair value appropriate? I know what is what got accurate. Is it appropriate? That's all you have to think of. Maybe if you're not happy, asking for one more valuation report. Really doesn't help. You don't lose much asking for one more valuation report. As I said, this extra bit of diligence seems to be coming up on us now because we do not know what is going to be questioned, how it is going to be questioned, when it is going to be questioned. And as all of you know, that the legislations in India seem to be asking more and more upon us as professions than less and less. Luckily the clause was removed. There was some clause 44 in the tax audit report which asks us to reconcile the GST turnover and all those things. No comment from the GST tax audit at all. Luckily it was removed. It's actually been deferred. It should be come in and completely removed if you ask me. The requirements from our profession appear to be increasing, so are the risks. What has not been said in all these situations that normally companies whom we take as auditors, or who take us as auditors, as the case may be, right? There is a certain level of trust which comes into play. There's always a certain level of trust. We know them, they know us, right? I'm not saying that anything is going to go wrong there. Hopefully nothing should go wrong. But even in a very well-run company in which you've been auditor, all this has been exchanged properly, you know nothing is going to go wrong. Always, you can think of a situation wherein doesn't matter, you know nothing is going to go wrong. That one document you did not obtain, please obtain it. I know we've been a consultant, many of my CA friends have called up and said that, I've got this company, it's got a lot of subsidiary, just like IFS, right? A lot of subsidiary companies. Loans are given rampantly to subsidiary companies. They want a loan, they give it. No board revision, nothing is there. What should I do? Please, next board meeting, please validate it. Ask them to do it as a matter of governance. Family-run company doesn't really matter. Put it to the next board meeting, let them validate it. They should know that this is a requirement today. You cannot take a risk with such basic minimum documentation, right? Okay. So, I'll also now probably quickly wind up and say that I think now the discussion is more about, now that you know what an NFRA can do, I just sort of summarize to you. If it's a listed company who's your auditor, I mean you are the auditor, we all know that directly you can come and, what can NFRA question you on? In question accounting practices, auditing practices followed, auditing standards followed, documentation. Any one of these things. 3 actions are possible. They can either take no action, or they can caution you, or they can penalize you. Depending on what the actions of fraud. I'm sorry, no, I want to use the word fraud again, right? Now that we know about this is what they can do, has the PCAOB been successful? So I come to that. So there was a very interesting thing which happened. When the PCAOB was formed in the US, they were searching for people. And NFRA is also going to search for people. So one partner in a Big 4 accounting firm said that, I will quit my job, I am happy, I have done enough with this firm, I will join PCAOB as chief auditor. In 2003, he joined the PCAOB as chief auditor. He was the person behind all those, whatever those auditing standards were issued and inspection reports and all these things. So I'm going to put a question to all of you. Suppose you work for NFRA also. How many years can you work for NFRA? Let us have an example. NFRA is asking for the same post of chief auditor. Each one of you is selected, let us say. How many years can you work for? 8 years? 8 years. No, I'm saying, no, that's not a rule. I'm saying how many years, as a person, how long will you work for? 5 years? The general tendency today seems to be short-lived, only 3 years. People don't work for more than 3 years in a company. They go for the next available opportunity. That seems to be the general average now. So this person in this Big 4 firm, 2004 he started with the PCAOB, worked for 4 or 5 years and quit. He said, okay, I've done my work in PCAOB also. Okay, he quit. Where did he go? He went back to the same firm he joined at the end of 4 years. So, he left in 2009 and joined exactly 5 years after he left. Now, what has not been shared in the slide is, why did he leave? It was not salary. It was not salary, definitely not salary. The US salaries are pretty high, right? And having been a partner in the Big 4 firm, obviously it's not definitely salary. Job satisfaction? Maybe, I do not know. My personal opinion is he left because Lehman Brothers collapsed in 2008. They were holding the PCAOB responsible, saying that you've done nothing at all. You said you want to do protect investors, when protect investors, nothing has happened. Lehman Brothers also collapsed in 2008. So, other people have also said that PCAOB started off very, very well, but you've seen the reports now, it is now appearing to be not so successful. People are saying that they're only giving documentation advice, they're only giving some small advice. What was originally intended has not been achieved.
Incidentally, you said that whenever a show cause notice is issued by NFRA, it has to be closed within 90 days.
Yes.
Is there any powers to extend that 90 days or it's a mandated 90 days?
Mandated, yes.
That means it will be completely failure. No investigation can be completed from end to end in 90 days. So it's a non-starter.
They'll add the amendment later on, so they'll obviously add another 60 days down the line.
No, but as of now,
As the last 90 days, 90 days.
90 days is not a time in which an investigation can be completed with respect to...
Investigation. Show cause notice after investigation, no.
No, show cause notice should be concluded in 90 days.
90 days.
Which means including the investigation.
Investigation, yeah.
So, show cause notice is there, reply has to happen, investigation has to happen, finding
Yeah.
has to come, 90 days time.
That appears to be difficult, but I think the first is notice.
No, I find that's the good news.
There's a small window for opportunity.
It is not possible.
Not possible. But there is a notice will be 90 days. There is a time part will say, obviously. Time part will say, right? Okay, so will the NFRA be successful? I think it all depends on how the NFRA is going to work. And I can give all of you a little bit of data about this, that only the chairman has been announced right now, nobody else has been announced right now. And you know for a fact that ICA president is a de facto member of the NFRA panel. Similarly, the ICA president is also there. But we don't seem to be having people who are actually going to understand accounting practices and auditing. So I would say that the start has been very enthusiastic, definitely no doubt about it. But how successful they will become, how they work. If you want to go the PCAOB route, you should appoint people and pay them market rate salary, which is no amount of nation use. This is going to be one more case just like Nakas, where we did not have anybody there actually working. But it is possible that they may say, okay, listen what, this company has had some problems, so we send a notice to auditor. Few and fair will be coming out here. I would typically put this NFRA situation into three categories, right? One is the really big frauds, the ILFSs, all those cases, Ranbaxy cases and all these things. NFRA will not be audited, it will go to SFIO, any which ways. Definitely go to SFIO, NFRA will not be audited. They may work with the SFIO or whatever they can do among themselves. The not so big ones, which goes on the basis of public information, say something has gone wrong, there's something may be wrong in this company, those could be cases wherein NFRA may want to take some particular action, may send you a notice. These are the cases when we have to be a bit careful, because these are companies whom we are the auditors, we know about it, not of extremely high value for SFI to be involved, but there could be a small transgression of corporate governance practice or accounting strategy case. We have to say again, we will have to worry about this, because these cases can actually come in front of us. They can actually come in front of us, and they can, obviously we can get something from NFRA on these cases. The problematical cases will be the ones which are the last category, wherein NFRA is not involved at all, right? Assuming that the limit is increased from 1 crore to, let us say, 100 crores also, we'll have to go back and follow up on the ICA, right? We'll have to go back and follow up on the ICA now for this thing here. So we will have three categories now. We will only have to worry about the middle layer here. The middle layer companies, we may have some amount of NFRA. The top layers, which none of us are going to be auditors any which ways, and the bottom layer we need not worry about, because we have the same, already we have an existing mechanism which is going to happen. Middle layer we need to be a little bit careful about. One question which has not been mentioned in the regulations is that, can I go and tell NFRA that, you know what, there's something wrong with this client, in this company? Can I go as a whistleblower? That provision does not seem to be there again.
No, while whistleblower is not there, the so motor powers for
So motor power for them is there, but they should have some power, na?
On the basis of the whistleblower's thing,
They can,
so
yeah.
motor action can be taken by NFRA.
So if I am a whistleblower, I can just write to NFRA saying that, okay, you know what, this is what this company, I feel something is wrong. They may come to you, but do not know. So these are the areas in the law which actually have to be ironed out today. Because invariably what will happen is whistleblower will come only on the basis of vengeance. He wants something, which the company is not giving it to him. That's why he approached NFRA. You are seeing so many cases of whistleblower going to SEBI also now, saying that this is what has happened, this person has done this thing. All these are cases where the person wants something which is not being given to him. Will NFRA act in these cases? Again, that process does not seem to be very, very clear. But, I mean, these are early days yet. We can probably expect some more guidelines to come as the law becomes, So, I'll just give you a couple of big points. It's all in the documentation. Whenever in doubt, please report about it. As I said, it's not, when I say report, I don't mean the audit report. I'm talking about physical preparation. Inform the client there can be a problem with revenue recognition. Please change your accounting policy. Please inform. Doesn't matter, does it or not.
Communicate with those charged with governance.
Communication with those charged, absolutely important. Please communicate. Does not matter what he feels. He may be your best client, pay you fees. You have a doubt. You cannot, I mean, as I said, it's not going to be a question of you versus him here. You got to discuss about it and find a solution to the problem. It could be, he's right or you're right, as the case may be, right? So you should probably get this thing here, report it here. And, okay, I already mentioned this to you, PCAOB. I should also tell you this with a little bit of confidence, saying that till today, the PCAOB has never questioned the competence of auditors at all. It has not been questioned at all. They have never said that this person is unfit to audit. They are capable of saying it. They never said it. Right? So that actually is a positive for us because we can probably think of the same thing here. I would also give you this final point of view. This is just as a matter of additional information to all of you, nothing to do with this, with the NFRA at all. Just go to this website for the IBPI, the Insolvency Management Board of India, IBPI, and there are decisions which have been made by the disciplinary committee of the IBPI against insolvency professionals. What you see now is the rest of those disciplinary cases. I would really suggest that all of you read at least 2 of these cases. At least 2 of these cases. Not again, don't worry about the person's name and all. That doesn't matter at all, right? The IBPI has been doing an excellent job in telling these insolvency professionals where they went wrong. The action can be very, very harsh, like banning them for 10 years and all. That can be a very harsh action, but that's again beside the point here. You can find out from this committee reports here, IBPI report saying that where and all we could possibly make a mistake in our normal correspondence with our client. Normal correspondence. These reports are a revelation to us because whatever we have taken for granted, it appears that now has to be documented, now has to be questioned, now has to be corresponded to. He's got to reply to it. He can't stay quiet on it. These reports make an excellent source for us. The very word called as independence arises from the fact that these people are not independent at all. I don't want all of you to worry about the name of the professional or what he did. That is beside the point here. NFRA is also a disciplining authority, just like IBPI. They have got the same powers of disciplining here. So I am going to, the reason why I have taken IBPI as a test case is because they have done a very good job in actually disciplining insolvency professionals, what they should do, how they should behave, and in what manner they should actually conduct themselves in terms of the normal insolvency resolution process here. Please go through a couple of these cases because it gives you it is why I put this as mentally, because it gives you the mental makeup how you should probably go ahead and approach the next audit or approach the next client or approach the next assignment, what you should probably take care of. This is nothing negative about it here. It's only as a matter of additional guidance for us because we can expect the same thing to happen in NFRA also. NFRA can say that this auditor did not do this job. You don't want it to happen, right? You don't want that to happen. So I think this would make an excellent sort of base for you to think of studying here. So in summary, we know that I tried to cover whatever I could in the 2 hours which is given to me. In summary, we can probably say that one, NFRA is going to be there. 2, how they will come out in the future depends upon how NFRA is going to work. We are not very sure about that as of now. As far as accounting and auditing standards are concerned, please do not worry yourself. It will definitely be the ICA only. NFRA is not going to matter in this picture, so don't worry about it at all. The only cause for worry would be for you that in case you have transgressed any violation of any accounting policy or anything wrong has happened, NFRA people do come to your office. How are you prepared to tackle them in terms of documentation, correspondence and conviction? I think this is 3 areas wherein we need to do again, as I said, we have already built up enough documentation, assessing peer review board and all these things, but as I said, probably one pause, one step ahead, one just think for it for a few more seconds, few more minutes. What could possibly, that's why I'm giving you all this, because these are all cases which have come up very, very fast. See, Insolvency Act is very, very new. It's a very new act. But I was extremely proactive about this. Extremely proactive about this. Taken a lot of interest in this, told people how to exactly conduct themselves. I'll just give you a small example before I conclude. One of these cases which I was reading, insolvency professional, Bank of Baroda, there was a note from Bank of Baroda. Bank of Baroda filed the insolvency case. Bank of Baroda filed the insolvency case. And there were obviously other creditors also. Insolvency professional was appointed. He was a company secretary, not a chartered accountant. He was appointed, and the promoter was also involved in this. He was also in the company, obviously, as a promoter of the company. He told the insolvency professional that for Bank of Baroda, 3.5 crores is more than sufficient. The due is 10 crores of rupees, 3.5 3.5 crores is more than sufficient. This was told by the promoter to the IP. When he called the committee meeting of the committee of directors, the IP said that 3.5 crores is more than enough for Bank of Baroda. He did not say that the promoters told him about this, but it was mentioned to him this thing. Bank of Baroda said nothing doing, other people have to get more. 3.5 crores is not sufficient. So this became a small big issue, and ultimately they came to know this because of the promoter this has been told. They banned him for 10 years from acting as himself. They said that how can you act on the basis of the promoter when you are supposed to be an independent job? Did you really find out how much Bank of Baroda had to be paid? You did not. When the committee of creditors meeting was called, did you actually go and say that actually 10 crores is involved, I will only pay you 3.4 crores? Where is your cash flow statement to justify all these things? They banned him for 10 years. This is one, does not tell you how we should be prepared mentally to face these people. I think this is what will come out from all these chapters here. Of course, I am only hoping that nothing goes wrong in any of your clients' place. That is a given. Now since they have got some powers, it is possible that they may come and ask some additional questions. We have to be prepared for answering those questions. That's all I am going to leave you with. So, I would say that as a legislation, it has taken a very slow start. It will progress even more slowly. It's going to take some time for NFRA to actually come out and actually start working. It will probably take another good couple of years for them to actually work. We've got time on our hands, but I think we need to be a little bit careful here and ensure that because of one extra step to take care that things are actually perfect from our point of view, right? Alright, thank you very much. Thank you.
I request members to wait for 2 more minutes to conclude the session. Once again, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to an excellent session on NFRA provision. It was a Guma earlier, they used to tell NFRA is going to come, NFRA is going to, NFRA is already now has come. You have to see how we have to overcome the issues arising from that and how we have to protect ourselves. With this, we have come to an end of session. I thank Mohan R Lavi sir for his excellent session, for sharing his knowledge. I thank on behalf of Bangalore branch of ICA for his time and effort for sharing his knowledge. May I request C.H. Chinnappa to present a gift voucher as a token of gratitude and respect.